Yes, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Bootcast podcast. I am your host, Justin, and as usual, I am here with my fellow co-host, Colby. Colby, man, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Doing very good.
Did you guys go play some footy this weekend?
Yeah, bro. I played yesterday, as a matter of fact, a couple hours of pickup, which was fun. Still waiting on some more Tiempo Legend 8s. Some Tiempos from Japan, but it takes a while, man. Like, I don't know if you've ever ordered on eBay before, but their policy is like upwards of 10, maybe 12 days. Like, it's
almost 2 weeks.
It's a long wait period.
Yeah.
Right. Just to ship. And that's just to ship. That's
yeah.
Right.
And then shipping usually takes like another 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, and I've been excited about these because these are HG, and I haven't really had a pair of boots before. So, yeah, man, I was a little bit disappointed. So I actually canceled one out. I'm trying to get another pair right now, from America.
Colby, on eBay, doesn't it tell you like the expected arrival date?
Sometimes for this they didn't. They just gave me like the shipping date. Sometimes they'll give you a tracking. Like for me, if I sell anything on eBay, I will go ahead. Like I think they give you like 3 days period to ship out, and I always buy like their whatever it's called, their postage. Yeah. So it looks like as soon as somebody buys something for me, I'll buy the postage, and it looks like it's shipped, but it's not actually shipped. They're just giving me a tracking number.
Oh,
for the other person.
Sounds like fraud.
It's totally fraud. They're coming in right now.
They're like someone just kicks your door in mid-podcast. All right, Colby, quick question for you today. I forgot to ask you early on last week, but what is your jersey pick for today's episode?
My jersey pick for today's episode is the Real Madrid home kit for 2013. This is the year that Gareth Bale made his transfer from Tottenham there.
I have all 3 of those kits.
Oh, so good, dude. The white and the blue away.
And the orange third. Oh, yeah.
Man,
that was the first year I got
back.
all 3. Yeah. Yeah, the like marker font.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
It's so nice. It's so different.
Mm-hmm.
It was different from like what I had seen before that. It's so nice.
Yeah, that's a banger. And that's the year where Bear, I think it's the Copa del Rey, where he gets shoved out of bounds and like sprints past them. Oh,
yes,
I love that
dude.
goal.
What a season. What a season, man.
Bale like carried the team hard while Ronaldo was hurt. And Ronaldo was insane in Champions League. I always remember him doing some crazy goals in that blue jersey. Mm-hmm. Like crazy goals. But yeah, that's a banger.
Was that 2014 spring? Was that when they won the Champions League, or was that 2015? No, that had to be 2014. That was La Decima, man.
2014 is La Decima. Yeah.
Great
I think that's where they beat Bayern Munich? Atletico?
Yeah, because I think that was the game where what's his face, Diego Costa, like drank horse placenta or something and like came on for like 5 minutes and then had to sub right back off. They were like, oh, he drank the horse placenta, like he's gonna be fine for the match, and he wasn't. Yeah,
no, that's a banger jersey. Good choice.
Thanks,
Great
man.
choice. Mine is I went with 2015, 2016 Juve third kit. And that's the one where it's like solid black and it just has gold Adidas accents on it. It says Jeep in gold stripes, Pogba on the back, gold. I love that kit. That's one of my favorite Pogba kits.
Oh, cool. That is a very cool kit. Oh, that is so nice.
Yeah, it's a banger kit.
Yes, dude.
Super simple, super minimal, but like super class. Like a classy jersey.
Yeah, this one actually reminds me of like one of the Liverpool ones from back in the day where they had like a black gold.
Yeah.
Like the 09, I think.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Great jersey.
Right? Excellent. Okay, but while we're on the topic of just like classy black and gold boots, you saw Jude's Predators first, I guess technically second signature colorway to the public.
Right.
Because remember, he had those accuracies. But you saw it's getting released like October 18th?
October 18th. Yep.
I have no idea what the significance of that date is.
I don't know the significance of it. I mean, maybe Adidas like right before will be like, hey, it's Jude Bellingham Day, 10/18. Just so you guys know, because everybody's going to get their own day now.
Can you imagine that? 20? Are you, speaking of, hold on, total sidetrack. Are you watching like his little documentary on YouTube?
No.
Dude,
I,
it's super good. Like I've been watching. It's only got like 2 real episodes out right now, but he's going over last season. So it starts out like at the end when Dortmund loses the final, or not the final, the last day of the season. So it starts there, and then it goes through like his transfer to Madrid, and it's showing like all the way up through Madrid, and it's pretty entertaining.
I'm gonna watch it, man. I love football documentaries.
Me
like,
too.
Especially the what's it called, All or Nothing ones.
Oh yeah, those
are good. I think that's on Amazon.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
What is it? The Man City, the Arsenal.
Yeah, they did Tottenham one as well. They did Tottenham one through
the Spurs one
through COVID and through Jose, like the switch from Poch to Jose. That was good, dude.
Yeah, and that's the classic like Jose telling Dele like, you're gonna regret this if you don't like try. Yeah. You're really lazy.
Yeah,
and sure enough, he was kind of right.
Yeah, that was funny, man, because like he pulled Eric Dyer into it. He's like, "Hey, man, why didn't this guy play?" And Eric Dyer's like, "I don't know. Like, he sucked." Like, what would you say as a player? Like, I don't know. Like, that manager sucked, and then eventually, like, he stopped getting played as well.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember, isn't that the one where Son and Hugo Lloris get into a big fight because Son doesn't track back and Hugo Lloris starts screaming at him? And then
I don't remember.
And then I want to say, yeah, that's the same season. And then Dele Alli like says somebody shit, and they're like, "Well, if you're saying we're shit, why don't you just say it to my face?" And they just like start everybody's screaming at each other the whole time.
Oh my goodness,
that one's a great one.
Yeah,
that's a good one. But anyways, so how are you feeling? You know, the dust is kind of settled, and this is kind of a topic I want to talk about today because you're not a Pred head. You've made that very clear. But kind of the hype, I would say, around the current Predator has kind of started to die down a little bit. Like the Vivid Horizons pack came out, people are able to I've still seen the tongue in stock places and almost every size.
Yeah, our buddy Andrew Lockhart was actually just talking about how he feels that this Predator generation has hit a saturation point, which like I agree. I mean, we were definitely oversaturated. I think the Bellingham boots will come out at a good time because I think because we're oversaturated, people that like Jude Bellingham and like those boots will get them. They actually look a lot. When we first saw them, it was kind of close to the Dark Spark pack release, and I was like, dude, why are you just like making essentially a Dark Spark Predator and putting a big old B on it? It's more than that. Like I've seen legit like in hand photos, they look a lot better. And I think you brought up they kind of look like the Copa Sense .1s where they had like that black colorway with the bottom and the plate was gold. So pretty class boots actually. Not for me. I'm not a huge fan of black boots, but pretty class.
Yeah, I was thinking about this too, and I wonder if he might have taken some inspiration from that Copa Sense because Jude used to wear Copa Senses back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He wore Copa Senses for a while, and then they switched him to the Preds. So I kind of had that going, and then I was thinking too, like that because you brought up that Day Spark, like what was the first black? Is it just called the Black Pack or the Night Pack or something like that?
Oh gosh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't.
Whatever.
Blackout pack, whatever it's called.
Yeah, okay. So, but it kind of reminds me of like Pokemon evolutions. Like we started out with the all black one, and then we got a little bit gold accents in the next one, and then now it's going to evolve into its next form, and it's really gold.
Yeah, I just appreciate the fact that they actually put gold on the tongue because that was so lazy of the Day Spark and Dark Spark, where it was like we're going to put gold on the little side stripes here, but like nothing on the tongue. We're just going to leave that blank.
One thing I like too, it's kind of hard to see. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but I like that they did like the gold little squiggly line. Like these, because none of the boots have that feature kind of accented. So I think that's a little bit. Of like
they may have accented. I can't.
A nice feature.
Dude, and this is where we're oversaturated, right? They made a colorway close to the. I'll put it up on screen if I can find it. It was just before the Euros, and it was almost like rainbowish colors where they and it was no tongue, and they had like those maybe filled in there.
Yeah, you might be right. I think they were filled in like pink.
Can't even remember what that was called though.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I think it's just that one in the F50. I don't think the Copa had one.
Yeah, isn't it weird in the boot world where a boot like that comes out and you're like, oh wow, and then maybe a month or two go by and it feels like it was 1,000 years ago. You're just like, oh yeah, that was like back 2 months ago for the Euros.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like think about all the Preds that we've had, and we basically got them in January,
right? Yeah,
in September, and we're like, oh my god, I forgot about that. Oh wow, I forgot about that. I'm like, oh
yeah. We're getting so goldfish brained where it's like, oh, it's new shiny, okay, new shiny, and just
But
moving on to the next.
It's crazy too because I think this is like the hard part that brands kind of have to juggle is because like we're always like, I want the new thing, I want the new thing, I want the new thing. But then they're like, okay, here's a new thing, and we're like, whoa, slow down, like it's a little too much. So it's this very like tightrope that these brands have to walk, and I think that on this generation, Adidas kind of swung a little too hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think like if we would have had maybe 4 less colorways so far, I think everybody would be like, okay, this is perfect. Like this is just enough. You know, like basically one a month.
Yeah, or even going back to Football Boot Hour with James and Lockhart. James was actually talking about, because there have been so many colorways, I don't think Adidas knew that this boot was going to be this popular. I think they were just like, hey, nostalgic tongue, Hybrid Touch 2.0, like, let's see how it does. And it did way better than they expected. So maybe all brands now are kind of going the Puma route a little bit, where it's like, you didn't like that one, here's another one. And because this Predator was so popular, they really could have taken it into a 2-year life cycle and spread all these colorways out just across that 2 years.
Yeah, well, I think that's a great point. Is like you said, I think it shows that they didn't realize like that they were going to knock it out of the park the way they did.
Right.
Because I think, yeah, like you said, if these would have been spread out over 2 years, I think these would go down in history as some of the. I mean, even though it's a lot of nostalgia berries and all that kind of stuff, like they would have gone down as people like, oh, you remember this iconic one and this one, like they did great with this one, great with that one. So, what did you think though about Trev's comment? Because he said that he heard through the grapevine that the FT model was kind of like a last minute, like, oh yeah, just try that, whatever. Like, do you think that Adidas kind of, you know, struck gold with that? Yeah, like they kind of just happened to get the perfect scratch off, or do you think it was like a planned thing?
Oh, that's hard to say. I wouldn't, because it hasn't been a thing for so long, I wouldn't doubt that maybe towards the end they're like, let's just see what it looks like with this. Like, we've maybe playing around with it. Like, and it's always kind of those like last minute touches, isn't it? Like where I feel like a lot of brands stick to formulas. And when they, they're like formulaic, like, okay, we're going to have our laceless model, we're going to have our knit model or whatever, and then we're going to have our takedown. And that just seemed to almost be like a, let's just throw this in here for them. Let's just see how they react to this. And it was probably way more than they expected. I don't know how. I mean, I'm sure they had the F50 very far in production as well, but maybe they were just going for an overall nostalgia theme. They're like, wow, if we want to go pure nostalgia for the Pred, we're going to throw the tongue back on. So, I don't know if it was a last minute thing or not, but clearly it's working out for them.
Yeah, and like again, because we talked about, especially with the Trent boots, how late in production that Adidas was kind of able to squeeze that life cycle. It does make me wonder, because like I think that these boots were gonna be FTs, and then I think they saw leading up to it, because we'd seen the leaks and teases that Adidas was like, hold on, what are people saying about that? And then it was like, oh my god. So they I think they quickly pivoted. So I like, part of me wonders if that's the reason why like the Day Spark and the Night Spark or whatever it called, it just kind of had those
They don't have like
tongues.
a custom
Yeah, they're just
type.
like, throw extra, like whatever we have. Because like after he said that, part of me wonders if like the Pred 30 and maybe the Rotero were supposed to be like the FT ones, and that was really kind of it. Because I still think it's so weird that both those generation Preds don't have a laceless model. No, they did have a laceless model, didn't they? They just didn't have a tongue
There's no
model.
FT. Yeah, they didn't have an FT. Yeah, and I think the one we referenced earlier didn't have an FT either, like that special Euro colorway one or whatever. So
that one doesn't have
it is
FT
interesting.
either.
It does make you wonder. I'd have to go back and look at a lot of the tongues and be like, is this just a solid color where they don't add any like little accents to it at all? But
yeah, because that's what I wonder.
It's a good point.
Because Trent only had. I mean, granted, it's Trent's boot. I get it, but to an extent, like that one only had a tongue. There was nothing else. So like some of these colorways, like you said, that there's a few that don't have a tongue, and there's those ones that only had a tongue. That I think Adidas, like the stars just perfectly aligned, and they hit gold, and it was like, oh, like push these out. And I think that's why it was so hard to get tongues at first compared to now.
Right.
Because I don't think Adidas was putting out as many.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think that's a great point. I'm just gonna go with whatever Trev says, because Trev's like the man when it comes to Preds. Like nobody has more Pred knowledge than that guy. So
for sure,
defer to whatever he says.
He's up there.
All right, man. Speaking of Adidas and boot releases, and your best, most favorite player, Lionel Messi, has his own day. He's got his own day now, man.
This is so dumb.
10-10, October 10th.
So dumb. It's so cringe. This is like cringe ass shit. And again, it's funny because we talked about this on the last episode, but it's like nobody cares about his boots. Nobody cares. You know? Like, I mean, they really don't.
I care about his boots if they're going to keep having hybrid touch on them.
Yeah,
the
now.
OG hybrid touch.
But like, the last generation, how many of those speed portals were you like, oh man,
None.
my panties are wet. I got to get
Nope.
out there and get me some Messi. Like, no, you're not doing it. The only one that sold out was what, his World Cup pair, and that was after he won the World Cup.
Right. I mean, yeah, dude, it's just like okay, speaking of like last minute additions, and I'm sure they did this to be like, hey guys, this is like Messi's boot, all right, this is the material that he uses. But like they did strike gold again with the hybrid touch, like the OG hybrid touch instead of the what's it called? Can't remember.
Sprint Skin? I think it's Sprint Skin 360.
Yeah.
I think it's something like that.
Sprint Web, something.
Sure.
I know. There's
Sprint Skin might have been the old one. You're right.
Whatever grip elements they've got. Yeah, man. So we were supposed to get those, like you called them the Hulk boots, like the Messi white, purple. This week they're supposed to be out this Thursday, day after this podcast releases, and now they're saying that they're going to push that boot to Messi Day, over to 10-10.
And when are the Bad Bunnies ones supposed to come out?
I don't know, man. Is Bad Bunny going to get his own day? I don't know. How long am I going to have to wait for these boots?
Yeah, dude. It's just like, oh, and then I just want to say that I sent you. Somebody had them in hand, and I sent them to you. And what were your thoughts after you saw them?
I thought they weren't.
No, be honest. What did you say?
I thought they were pretty cool. But you know me, I get excited for anything. Like, you'll send me a picture, and I'm like, oh, that's so awesome, Justin. And then, like, a couple days later, I'm like, it's okay. I think I'm going to hold out for the Bad Bunnies, though. I don't know why. I mean,
they're so bad, bro.
Right, dude.
Even some of I saw the comments on the last episode. A couple people were roasting you.
Chris said it was, like, the worst boots he's ever seen in his life, which I thought was pretty funny.
I was trying to think of what they remind me of, and I figured it out, okay? You know, like when you go to like somewhere like Hobby Lobby or something, and they have it where it's like a dark wood, and then they kind of like etch in like Home Sweet Home, and it's like a lighter, like that's what those Messi boots look like. Like if they were made of wood and somebody just like carved like the Messi pattern into it, and that's why it's lighter. And I was like, that's why it's dumb.
This makes complete sense, bro, because I love Hobby Lobby. So I will be getting these boots. Dude, me and Andrew Lockhart are on an island with these boots. It's just like me and him.
And y'all can stay on that island with the resellers who are going to absolutely take advantage of you. Worse than Diddy took advantage of some of those people.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man, Diddy reference. Don't cancel us. But no, yeah, Messi Day is just like...
Man. Yeah. It's just
a
at this point...
thing. Like if Nike was like, hey, we have a CR7 day. I'm a huge CR7 fan. Like, you know this. And I'd be like, bro, like, come on. What, 7/7?
Dude, Nike, yes. July 7th. Do it. It's not too late.
Ooh,
it's not too late. Come on. Let's have a little... But yeah, it is weird. Like, it's weird whenever... I mean, he's still playing. But it's like, how much longer are you going to milk this man?
Yeah,
like, can you pick a new person to milk, please?
Like, I'd understand it, yeah, if he, like, died. And they're like, hey, we want to, like, honor him. Like, okay, cool.
Okay.
Man is still alive and playing.
He's still alive.
He's hobbling around the field, no problem. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
He came back and scored 2 goals, okay?
Against
the MLS. I don't even remember who it was.
Exactly. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody cares.
Oh, man. David Beckham cares.
Yeah. Yeah, his bank account cares.
Heck yeah, man. He just won an Emmy or something. I don't even know, for that documentary.
Dude, he deserved it. It was phenomenal.
Okay. Anyways.
But let's get into the final one this week. Pure victory.
Yes. Pure.
Talk
being
to me
the key word.
Talk to me about this pack because it looks anything but pure. But I want to hear about this pack.
Dude, this pack is cool, man, because we finally get to see like the actual Copa Pure 3, not, camouflaged out in white. And like, to me, like, and I'll put a picture up here on screen, but to me it looks like, and you said this, but almost like an upgrade of the Copa Pure 2 Plus. That's the knit version. And I'm just hoping that, like, I'm just hoping that they've improved the lockdown. I'm hoping they've improved the lockdown, and I'm hoping that they've upgraded the torsion frame sole plate. But like you can see, like in these photos, that it's essentially like the same. It's like the same silhouette. Almost looks really close to the same last, which I'm not a huge fan of, unless the material that fusion skin material on the sides is a little bit softer. I'd be okay with that. I was thinking it was going to be closer to the Copa 18.1, but this really looks like it's going to be like Copa Pure 2, upgraded.
Yeah. I agree with you. I thought it was going to be closer to the old 17.1, 18.1, but now looking at some close-ups of the whiteouts, and then these leaked pictures, which, by the way, that leaked colorway looks phenomenal. Like I absolutely love it. But this boot is looking more and more to me like a baby was made between the Copa Pure 2 Plus KT or whatever they call it.
Yeah, knit tongue.
And the Copa Icon. Like it's got that really thick looking upper like the Copa Icon had, the Copa 1920 had.
Yeah,
20,
that, yeah.
That, what did you call it? The Michelin Man?
The Michelin Man. Michelin Man look. Yeah.
It's just got like it looks thick. It looks like a thick old boy. But I'm hoping, like you said, my main thing is if they can just figure out the lockdown, especially because the Copa Pure 2 is just a sloppy boot.
Right.
I mean, I don't really know how to put it any other way. It's not a bad boot. It's just very sloppy and very like meh. It's a meh boot.
And it's not incredibly comfortable like the 18.1s I have are so comfortable. Like I'll wear those things like what is it now? Freaking like 6 years later, and they're still so comfy to put on. Like it's just it's insane. And I know that those aren't as responsive probably because they don't have like the fusion skin elements in there that make it a little bit more I guess responsive on the ball. But I mean it's just comfort should be a standard for all leather, or even looking at like Puma and Nike, it should be a standard for the like synthetic leathers. Like comfort was always a part of having a leather boot.
Yeah, comfort is king for sure.
Right.
How do you feel though about them bringing back a laceless top end model?
I'm okay with that. Just because that means now I don't have to pay premium to get the like knit collar, tongue, because that was a premium in this generation. Where I think I actually like the fit, the U-throat fit of the regular version, but
okay.
I do think your foot was a little bit more locked in with the KT version. As long as it has good lockdown, I'm fine with it. I've been playing a lot in my 18.1s recently, so that's felt pretty good. So I wouldn't mind. I'm hoping that this boot has some elements of the 18.1 and 17.1.
Yeah, I think it will. And like I said, it definitely has some. I can see some Icon DNA in there, and I think that overall the Icon is not like the greatest boot of all time. I mean, it costs $100 less than everything, but I think for that price point and for what it is, I do think that there are some good elements and design decisions that Adidas could take to implement it on the next Copa Pure and like have another home run.
Right. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, especially this laceless model, because I do know that there's a lot of play. I don't think any players play in laceless Preds that I know of. Maybe what's that dude on?
I think Jota does.
Jota does. I might play with the tongue. Who's the guy on? Is it Everton? Blonde-haired guy. Oh, I can't remember his name. Anyways, he might play in laceless Preds, which is weird.
I think Dybala does.
Yeah, so there's a few.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be cool to see like if this laceless trend comes back for the Copa.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think that it was kind of it was weird that it was dropped on this current Copa Pure 2. I think that the KT was a good kind of middle ground between a laceless and the Elite, but
yeah, and people really liked it on the 19 and 20. Like that was like where it was the absolute best, and then I think they lost it with the Sense, and when they came back with the Copa Pure Copa Pure 1 Plus, people really liked it on that boot as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say the knit on the Copa Pure 1, the Plus model of the Copa Pure was really good. I remember it fitting well, very leather speed portal-y.
Yeah, Anthony Gordon. That's who I'm thinking of. That's who I think wears the Predator laceless.
He plays for Newcastle.
Newcastle. What'd I say?
Everton.
Oh, damn. Did he come from Everton?
He used to play for Everton.
He used to play for Everton.
Yeah. But it's been a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's talk about the pack. Copa. We're gonna call it the Copa 3. Copa Pure 3. To me, 1 to 10, I'm gonna give it a solid 9.
Yes.
It looks
okay.
awesome. It reminds me of, and you got to throw it on screen, and you got to look at it. Pogba had a pair of Predator 19 pluses, I think, when he was at Man U, and I'll send you the picture too. But it's the exact same thing, all white boot with the red stripes and then a black collar, and I just was like, woo!
Oh, right, man.
Ooh, good colorway. So yeah, Copa Pure 3. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. What are you gonna give it?
I'll give it an 8. 8 out of 10. I like it when that tongue is white too. Like I don't like it, it's solid.
I like the black. I think it looks
I'm boring
cool.
like that.
It's okay. These kind of remind me of too. Now that I'm thinking about it, Aaron Ramsey. Do you remember when he had those custom New Balance Vizaro 2s?
No. What did they look like?
They're kind of the same thing. They're like white, and they go into this like silver blackish night pattern, and they have a red in on it. I'll have to send it to you, and they have black in it.
Please.
But I remember when Josh from SR4U did a video on them. They were like literally not even the same boot as like the regular retail model. Like Josh like breaks it down. It's like literally like here's the boot y'all get, and then here's the boot he gets, and like just the name is the same. Like there's no other similarities between the two.
Yeah, that is a good looking boot. I just looked it up right now. That is really
Aaron
cool.
Ramsey one?
Bro, they need to bring this colorway back on the 442.
Well, he's not with. I don't even know if he plays. Does he still play anymore?
He might have retired from Wales. I don't know if he still plays
somewhere.
Where did he go play? He's probably over in Saudi with everybody else.
He might be. That's actually a good shout. He might be in Saudi.
Yeah, but New Balance bring this Aaron Ramsey colorway back to the
so it reminds me
bring it to the 442.
It reminds me of that colorway.
Yeah, it's solid.
Okay, let's talk about the F50 next. Now, the F50 to me, I like everything about it, but I don't know what they call it. It's the highlighter yellow.
Right.
The Volt, whatever they call their version. I don't know what is with brands' obsession in that color, but I'm sick of that color. Electricity, that's what they call it.
Yeah, electricity.
I am absolutely so sick of that color on everything.
I'm not a fan. I don't know why. I'm not a huge fan of like this. Maybe that is the Volt. Maybe the Volt is holding it back. But I feel like Adidas has gone with a lot of red this generation for the F50.
Yeah. But do you remember the Crazy Fest on the last gen? That was this reddish orange color and it had the white. It was like one of the last colorways of the Crazy Fest.
That's probably why I don't remember it because I was like, I'm done with this.
It was all red. It had a white sole plate, but then the interior part was Volt. And I was like, why? Like this looks so stupid.
It's fine. If it was only in the insole, then right? Nobody's ever gonna see it, right?
Yeah, I could see it.
You could see it, so it's bugging you.
I knew. It's like I knew it was there.
I'm not a fan, dude. This actually weirdly it reminds me of like a rooster or something, or like a like Pokemon reference. It kind of reminds me of like a Moltres. Like I don't know why. I don't know. It's just kind of weird.
It's like if they would have used like a more of like a real yellow or like a banana yellow, or even the black like that's on the Copa. I think it would look super cool.
Yeah. I don't know. They just have to be different. Like they already made a red one essentially, or like a reddish pinkish.
Yeah.
And this whatever in the Vivid Horizon. So they've got to just change it. Like they can't make two of the same type style boots.
I mean they can't because they do that stuff a lot.
No, because then we would give them crap like we give Puma crap for changing it out between like orange and lighter orange.
Yeah, Puma did three packs and it was just like orange and pink.
That's what I'm saying. They ran out of dye or something over at the Puma factory.
Too much.
Yeah, or they had too much, exactly.
Yeah. So
like leftovers.
The F50, I'm gonna give it a solid like 3 out of 10.
Okay, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking 3 as well.
I almost gave it a 2, but I was like, I hate it, but yeah, not my favorite.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about the Pred.
The best.
The Pred is coming out. It's solid red. And it's red. I looked it up. It's supposed to be, I think it's Vivid Red is what it's called. Or Lucid Red. And
Lucid Red.
That's the red they use on the Roteros, so I know it's red. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's all red. It's like a silvery white, 3 stripes, silvery white elements.
Yeah,
what do you think?
It
Give
is
me
a
grade.
good looking boot, man. Very good looking boot. Like I love it when colorways do this. When it just blends together very well. I mean, if you're gonna go white and black, that's pretty safe.
Yeah,
Especially on a red boot like that. I would have preferred on the FT model, the tongue has like black Adidas. I would have preferred like white just to kind of give it a little bit more like consistency. But look, like, I wouldn't wear a bright red boot anyway. But if I had to, like, this wouldn't be too bad.
dude, I'm so I was already hyped for the next gen. I'm so hyped for this colorway.
There you go, man.
I like red boots. This
Yeah.
one to me, I'm gonna give it an 8.75. I like the Copa more.
Okay.
I like the colorway of the Copa more. This one is like right up there, but it's a little less for me.
I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10. It looks very good. It's a
Yeah.
very good start for the like next generation of of Predators.
Yeah. And our friend, I think it was Las Vegas, he was saying that the thing that's great about this new Vivid Horizons Predator is that he's like, it doesn't really rely on like an old Predator colorway. It's no more nostalgia berries. It's a brand new colorway. And this one, like, yeah, obviously red and white is pretty safe, like you said. I'm sure they have used it on other things. But I like how they're like, okay, we did the nostalgia kind of thing with the 24. With the 25, like, we're just going to put out new colorways.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they had to, like, Adidas had to get out the nostalgia colorways at first.
Yeah.
And so they kind of did that. Now, like you said, they have kind of free reign on what do they choose to do, especially with the Pred 24. And I don't know, like you and I were talking about this off pod, but is this Vivid Horizon pack supposed to last from like now the end of September to the rest of the year and into this? I'm sure there's got to be one more.
That's what. See, I thought that too, but I'm just like, I haven't seen anything, I haven't heard anything, unless, like I said, that red, white, and blue that I still can't find to send to you, Predator colorway. But for the most part, I'm like, maybe they'll have one more, and it might be like a Champions League color.
Right, or what they'll do is they'll kind of keep this Vivid Horizon. I can't imagine they've got to fill the month of November with something. That's really the most, kind of one that's hanging out there. But they'll usually do a sneak peek boot. And they might do one with the Predator and the Copa in December. I'm trying to remember. I went back and actually looked up my old Copa Pure 1 videos, and I think those are both from... I think I did one for the 1. The one for the 2 was later, but the one for the 1 was in like January. So that one, I believe, got released in January, but the Predator always has like a sneak peek around Christmas.
Yeah,
before.
that's true. But I mean, the accuracy and the Copa Pure 1 came out at the same time, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then... this, I think the Pred 30 came out on its own. I don't think, or 24, or whatever we call it these days.
Yeah, the weird thing about when the Copa Pure and the accuracy came out, it was like the accuracy was like white out, black out, but then it was like another black pink, and the Copa Pure had a black pink, and I was like, that was stupid. You shouldn't have done 2 blacks like that. But anyways, hopefully they'll do better with this.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But I'm super hyped. That's at least two silos that I'm like ready to start the new year off with. And hopefully Adidas just like knocks it out of the park.
I hope they knock it completely out of the park with the Copa Pure 3, man. That's the one I'm most excited for, and that's the one I'm hoping my hopes aren't too high on that boot.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be disappointed again.
Yeah, for sure. This is definitely one that we're gonna have to find and like try out before we like commit to buying them.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So yeah. But with that, is there anything else you wanted to talk about today, Colby?
No, man, we hit all those topics as usual pretty quickly.
Dude, we're knocking them out. Football boot, not hour. They never last an hour. We're getting it shorter and shorter. Pretty
That's
soon
right,
we'll
bro.
have like a 10-minute pod, and that's it. We'll just be in, bam, 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 out.
We're the football boot half hour, bro.
Yeah, exactly. That's about all my legs are good for, about half an hour. Colby, tell the people where they can find you.
You guys can find me at Kicked with Colbs on Instagram and at Kicked with Colbs on YouTube.
You can find me at Texas Cleat Collector on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. You can find us at bootcastpod. And I forgot to say this last week, but go down below, smash that like button, hit the subscribe, leave us a comment. We try to answer everything. Colby, you do a pretty good job answering. I try to answer, but I'm pretty sure my answers get deleted too.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
I've never deleted your answers, by the way.
I appreciate that. I think it's
Yeah.
YouTube. But we try to answer you
What
guys.
kind of answers are you giving?
No, it's normal, but it'll say like one comment, and then I'll click it, and there's no comment from me. So I don't know.
Yeah, we try to answer everything, and like I'll even answer some people twice if they have an additional question. So
and like people have sent me DMs and stuff. Like we greatly appreciate you guys listening. We
try to shout you guys out on the podcast too.
We're two guys, and y'all like to listen to us ramble for 30 to 45 minutes. So we greatly appreciate that.
Yeah.
And with that, I'm all done being nice. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
See you guys.